What's going on, everybody? Ian here for Cult of Mac, and this could be our first look at the new iPhone 11. So if you're a big fan of the iPhone 10 design and the iPhone XS design, the iPhone 11 design will be very familiar with a few changes, mostly on the outside, to make it slightly different and slightly more useful, namely in the camera department. There's a lot still unknown about them, but in general, these seem to be very in line with what we could expect out of the iPhone 11 this year. We also now have a copy of these case mold models, which are just machined pieces of aluminum that are carved to look essentially like the iPhone 11. We have them in the 11, 11R, and 11 Max, or whatever Apple decides to call them. We're calling them the 11 because who knows. Now there are some differences between the two, especially in the way the camera array is designed. On these iPhone 11 models, the camera array kind of has these three dots or three cutouts, a little bit of a tryptophobia looking thing, which gives you an idea of how the cameras might be placed inside of the housing, but it seems unlikely as we see these other models come out that Apple would actually have those raised or cut out circles for the cameras. More than likely we'll see a matched panel here, kind of like we see on this or on your iPhone 10 or XS style devices, where you have a piece that's either black or matched to the back of the device, and then inside of that you have the cameras kind of buried down below. Now looking at these ones, these are the non-R models. It looks like both the 11 Max as well as the regular 11 will have a triple camera array, which pretty well lines up with most of the rumors we've heard. Basically saying we'll have a normal standard lens as well as a telephoto lens, like a 2x lens like we have right now and have had since the iPhone 7 era. But we may also be getting an ultra wide lens for much better landscapes or larger group pictures where you need just that extra little bit of space along the edges. On the 11R models, there's a pair of cameras on it along with the flash and the microphone, implying that maybe this year with the 11R you'll get the dual camera like we've had in the other iPhones for the last couple of years, more of a telephoto and a standard zoom. Although it's also possible Apple could go with the standard zoom and a more wide angle image for better AR and depth sensing stuff to get a better idea of the overall environment. Now we should talk about these camera bumps because they seem to be one of the big controversies about this new phone. People really think it looks kind of gross to have this big postage stamp in the corner instead of the nice thin little strip that we've seen in both the iPhone 7 and 8 as well as the iPhone 10 and XS. Now others have pointed out that there are some other Android phones that have this kind of square camera area on them and that they've placed it more centralized in the device, which keeps the symmetry a little bit better. Having something asymmetrical like this just feels a little out of place, and I'm not sure why Apple has decided to continue sticking the camera in the corner, other than the fact that every iPhone has had the camera in the corner, for basically the entirety of the iPhone's life. Other rumor changes potentially coming this fall are updated volume buttons that are more of a circular rocker and a different type of mute switch on the side, which may go up and down instead of front to back. But neither of those changes appear in these dummy models. That doesn't mean Apple couldn't do those. That would be a pretty minor change that probably wouldn't impact most case makers, so it's very possible those changes could still be happening this fall. Another thing people have been asking for a while is USB-C on the iPhone. Now while these models don't seem to fit a USB-C plug and have more of the lightning size port, that doesn't mean again that Apple couldn't change that with the iPhone 11 this year. There's also the rumor that the backside of the iPhone 11 style devices will have reverse inductive charging, meaning you could throw your AirPods or another iOS device on the back of your iPhone and actually charge those a little bit off of the phone. Could be a nice way to add another hour or two of listening without taking too much juice off of your phone. The thing I'm most let down about with the new iPhone 11, or at least with these dummies, assuming this is what Apple goes with in the end, is that they didn't change the design. And I know, they normally say the third time is a charm. This would be the third iteration of this design with the iPhone 10, the XS, and now the 11. But I would have loved to see something more like the new iPad Pros that they released last fall, with the more squared off edges, kind of reminiscent of the iPhone 4 and 5 design, but also very modern and very kind of futuristic and cool looking. So what do you think? Is this iPhone 11 something that excites you or something that you're kind of bummed out about the fact that they didn't change? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, enjoyed this kind of first look at the possible iPhone 11 design. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos as they come out. I'm Ian for Cult of Mac, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.